You said it like your birthday. Yo.
Oh my goodness.
No, I'm just kidding.
I'm not gonna be able to start this interview. You're fine. Alright. Let's go.
Hi guys, welcome. That shit ain't working.
Hey, welcome back. Okay, perfect. Welcome back to 1 to a Million. I'm Kate. Why did we both look up like this? Fucking fucked on that shit. That was not how I was wanting to intro you at all. Do you want Rey the Barber?
I'm sorry. I like what she said, like, duh was my middle name.
Yeah. That's like a full name.
Duh? Rey the Barber? Okay.
Rey Barber? Like, Rey the Barber? Like, Rey the Barber? Welcome back to 1 to a Million. I'm KG, for those of you who don't know me. I'm here with Rey the Barber, and I'm super excited to let y'all know a little bit more about him. I don't know how old you are and like how long you've been doing this for. Because I'm sure after people seeing you, they're gonna realize how successful you become within yourself. But how old are you, and how long have you been really doing this and being a barber?
Alright, so, well, my name is Rey, of course, but I am actually 20 years old, and I've been cutting hair for around 3 years already, seriously. I've been taking cutting hair seriously for about 3 years, and I mean, I like to see myself as an entrepreneur, as my own boss.
Well, we have a few questions to ask you just to get to know you just a little bit more. I thank you for being here. I thank you for giving me your time. We'll be doing a video for his channel as well. I'm super excited to do that. We get to eat. What is it that makes you an entrepreneur? I mean, of course, we talked about your you being a barber, and you're self-made. You've been doing it for 3 years now.
Well, just like a quick little definition, what I think an entrepreneur is someone that owns a business or that also is your own boss. Which I feel like just because I don't own a physical building and I don't have employees, I still am a business owner because Rey the Barber is my business. I am my own business, yeah. It's like my.
That's a very good grasp. Like, you're self-made. You're even though you don't have a building, you're selling your brand. You're selling who you are and what you do, the services you offer, the value you have. And so, I mean, what would you say is something that you do day to day, like, that makes you an entrepreneur? Networking? Would you say like networking?
Yeah, like networking, like word of mouth. So basically, if I have a good friend like Prit, for example, KG. People are always like asking me like who she is, and I show them her YouTube channel, and that's just something I like to do with my clients because I mean I do have quite a bit of clients every day, so
you're constantly expanding other businesses around you,
meeting people, meeting people, letting people know what I'm about, but also helping a bunch of my friends and local businesses out from word of mouth and talking to my clients.
That's dope. That's what you're doing. That's what I'm really trying to do with this too. Especially before I leave New Mexico, I'm trying to get a bunch of people out here who are entrepreneurs and let the people know from where I'm from. Like, we have people out here really doing it. What kind of action does your skill set kind of require from you? Like, what are some things you have to do in becoming a barber and marketing your business and doing word of mouth? Like, what is maybe some tactics you use, how you
some tactics that I have used from like taking a plan of action, and what I do is creating your own image. For instance, it could be a physical image, but also like what people see you as. So my physical image is my hair and my tattoos, and just like how I carry myself. Basically, I feel like that really stands out. Like if I'm at the store, people are like, "Oh, I know that dude. I've seen him. He cuts hair." You know.
You're just expressing yourself and letting people know who you are.
Not just expressing, but also like I'm trying to stand out from other people. From I guess from my
show your uniqueness and everything.
Yeah, exactly.
Portray it within like not only like your clothing, but as well as like your art on your body and your style, your hair. Like that's really cool that you interpret it into that.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I noticed a lot of people do notice that. And I guarantee, like if someone's like, oh, I know someone that cuts hair, they're just gonna think of me because I'm the only one. I'm not saying that other barbers they don't stand out, but I mean from where I am locally, like I have my own look, I have my own style, personality, stuff like that, which I feel like everyone should.
Right, yeah, but it's like you can see when you do expand and when you really do access your self-confidence, what you like, what you want to express, what you want to put out there, you can really make an impact out of it, and people are loving it. Like, you know, everybody always talks about your tattoos to me, and I'm like,
really?
I mean, if that's what's distinguishing you, and like you really want it to be out there to help your business grow and like who you are and expanding, I think that works. Like,
yeah, thank you.
You're making that work. That's true. That makes me live on it. Let me feel that way. What are some risks you've had to take in order to get what you desire?
Some risk I've had to take to get what I desire is actually getting out of my comfort zone, which I know a lot of people don't know how to do, or they think that they're doing, but they don't know how to do because, like I was saying before, when me and Kayla were talking before this interview, that I met a few celebrity barbers along the way of cutting hair at like these expos and competitions I go to, and one of them, I don't know his name, I don't have him on social media or nothing like that. I should have got his social media, but
it just happens to me. Yeah. You run into some people that are just like, wow, and you're like, oh, I didn't even.
Yeah, and when I run into those people, I don't want to be on my phone.
Exactly. So you're just ready to ask them questions, huh?
Yeah, I'm just want to like ask them questions, and I always ask people like advice, like people in the industry that are higher up or that are cutting celebrities' hair, like they're real successful. Advice, and one guy told me that he asked me, actually, are you comfortable with what you're doing and where you're at in your career? And I just remember saying, I was like, yeah, I'm pretty comfortable. And he was like, well, get out of your comfort zone. That's when you really be able to grow. Right. And I didn't really realize that was a thing, but it actually is.
It clicks when it clicks, huh? You're just like,
it made sense like within a second. After he said like, you can't be comfortable if you want to grow, I was like, okay, that's true. Like, you know, you gotta try different things. You gotta meet new people, go out, get out of your comfort zone and grow.
Literally, yeah.
So that was the biggest risk I took.
Heck yeah, I think that's a big risk that a lot of people in any type of entrepreneur side really have to do is get uncomfortable. And what was I telling you earlier? Just we always say get comfortable with being uncomfortable. You have to step out of that state. You have to really strive for something that you haven't done before, because clearly if you would have done it already, it would have taken you there. Like it would have taken you as big as you'd like to be, or as talented as you'd like to be, or as knowledgeable as you'd like to be. You're not there yet, so you have to try things you've never tried before.
And it could be anything really. It could be techniques that I use, or traveling across the country by myself with
you could get inspiration from a tree you saw while leaving the train station, or something, you know, just anywhere you go. Like it could be something else, but you really have to expand your way, and when you're open to that and you're allowing yourself to be receptive to that information, you allow it to just kind of come in, and it'll be okay to be uncomfortable with things. We've had technical difficulties this past week, him with his videos, some of our friends, and me as well. So we understand that you just gotta be uncomfortable sometimes just to realize it works.
And you also gotta be comfortable knowing that not everything will work.
Yeah, not everything will work.
The technical difficulties we were having with our videos, our friend with her videos, just stuff like that. Like, if something goes wrong, don't be scared to think of something else to do. Yeah, that's getting out of your comfort zone. Broaden it.
It just gives you a chance to expand on it. People don't realize like it starts with you type shit, you know, and that's a deep statement, but it can go deeper. Like it starts with you. You decided, let me see what I can portray myself as. Let me see how I can let myself stand out there. You know, I want people to know I'm different.
I don't have physical building, and I noticed that anybody that does have their own business or brand, they have to make their own look. And I mean, I don't have nothing to portray as like something physical besides myself as my own business / company.
Within your self-made business, you talked about how like before you don't necessarily have like a building or anything like that, but I don't have a building or anything either. So within like your self-made business, what are some systems and strategies you use for development?
Like I said earlier, my image, but also knowing how to work with people, like being professional at what you do, being strict with my business, like whether it's prices, how my clients act, how I act. I always got to be professional, and I feel like that's a really good strategy to practice on everywhere you go, really, because like I said, like I'm a walking billboard for myself, and also my clients are too. So another strategy basically.
They're wearing your art.
Yeah, basically they're wearing my art. Like walking to the shop every day, thinking like I can't just cut hair and like not pay attention, because there's times where like all barbers know what I'm talking about. They go into autopilot mode and they just cut hair. I try to break that habit. Recently, I've been trying to break that habit and trying to like really focus on what I'm doing. Being aware of what I'm doing, and also stuff that I could do to get better. Because if I walk into the shop and just go into autopilot mode and just cut hair, yeah, it's a good haircut.
It's gonna be repetitive and you'll get burnt out.
Yeah, and I'm not growing myself. I'm not growing my business myself. So also breaking those bad habits of just,
That was very good answer. I think people struggle with that a lot. I've talked to some of these artists too. They talk about writer's block, artist block. I guess we would call it business block. I don't know what we all have those mental blocks that just kind of come into play because we get into this auto mode and it just becomes too repetitive. But you got to be really aware of those things because you might miss the opportunities that come up along the way. So that's very good. Do you believe in manifestation?
Yes, I do. I do believe in manifestation.
Yeah? What made you believe in it? What do you mean? Maybe like, did you try it out yourself and you have an example of that?
So basically when I first knew about it, I didn't know what it was. So basically, the first time I manifested something, I didn't know I was actually manifesting it. A while back when I first started, a barber told me that I was gonna be like real successful and also be basically like one of the best barbers in our area that I live in. Which, like, I'm not trying to be cocky because I feel like I'm nowhere near from that, but a lot of people do.
No, I mean, if your clientele shows it, if your fan base shows it, if people are really messaging your stuff, I mean, it's true. Like what he had said, like you're really gonna make it in your area. I have a video of that, like. He literally said that a year ago, and you're really making that happen here. And it's not easy to do something like that in a small town like this. We were talking about that earlier, like coming from the families we came from and the areas we came from, like it's not the easiest to do that. So
really not. Yeah.
You're doing that. Take more confidence in that. That ain't no cockiness, that's confidence,
Well, I guess it's just the humble part of me. Like,
of course.
Also because in a way, like I feel like everyone has their own style, so that's why I feel like I'm not the best, because there's some styles that I wish I was better at.
Right.
But I just remember I didn't even know what manifestation was. He just told me, he was like, write it down, or I screenshotted it and I actually went to a store and printed it out, and I kept it in my drawer, and sometimes when I was feeling down, I just like read it, like, oh, he believes in me. But a year later, after that, I was actually doing really good with my business. And
totally forgot about it and everything.
Yeah,
so it's like you just started working towards it.
Well, I read it every day, so it's just some type of motivation. Then one day I read it, I'm like, whoa. I was like, this actually, it's happened, I've grown so much in the past year where he said this from that. I have so many supporters now, as opposed to the year before when he told me that no one really knew who I was.
Yeah,
so wow. I think that was really cool.
I mean, like I said, I've always known you just from high school and stuff. But knowing Rey the Barber, like I didn't know at first, and then of course coming back to town and getting to know more people. Even just before that, I remember hearing that you were cutting hair and stuff. But I was like, oh yeah, I went to high school with him. That was it. I never expected us to be doing this, so it's like maybe you were like popping up here and there that needed to be. Something I always tell my cousin and everything, your name is being spoken in rooms you've never even stepped foot in. So
honestly,
you really never know. Yeah, you really never know. How has manifesting helped you evolve into the embodiment of who you are now? How did you read that every day in manifesting and decide, should I have to change myself, or what should I have to change around me? How did that help evolve you as a person?
Well, when I read it, the word that I always stuck out to me was you. So I was like, oh, I just gotta be me, like you, because he said you are gonna be like one of the biggest barbers in your area. So the word you, it's a real small word, but to me that always stood out. So that's how I knew, like, I gotta really have high standards for myself as a person,
Right.
well.
So with that, what would you say motivates you? Like I know you said that somebody who had told you something at one point in your life motivated you. Who would you say, or what else would you say motivates you as well?
Something that motivated me was where I came from. Honestly, like I come from not the greatest neighborhood and not the greatest town, but just using everything I grown around with, or basically everything I experienced growing up. I didn't want that to happen to my future life.
Right.
Which is crazy because a lot of my childhood friends, they see that and they kind of grew into
it, yeah, rather than growing out of it.
Yeah, so they grew into the bad stuff that we were around versus me, which I'm so happy about it. I use that as motivation as I don't want that. And so I feel like just really just being like remembering my roots. I'm not saying like I don't like where I'm from. I love where I'm from.
Right.
But I just don't want that for my future.
Right. That's exactly right. I think like we were talking earlier, just from being here, like it's so different. Like I know there's tons of places out there where struggle's very hard and like things are insanely happening, but I don't think people realize, especially like people who didn't grow up in the same neighborhoods probably as you, didn't realize how crazy it really is out here and how scary it can be, especially for us growing up into that. Like coming into an environment like that is very scary, because you don't know whether you'll be in the right or wrong moment at the wrong or right time, you know?
Exactly, yeah, because growing up in a neighborhood like that, it's very unpredictable. I know that there's neighborhoods in this town that are worse than where I grew up at, but still, like, just to...
Yeah, no, I mean,
you really can't tell what's going to happen.
Yeah, no, I have some pretty crazy stories just from being in, like, a different area. Like, I had friends, so I went over to their friends, and, like, we were walking their neighborhood, and there's a whole deal going on right there, and they end up pulling out guns on each other, you know, we're jetting, you know, like, you never expect certain things, or here, especially, like, you hear stories, and you're like, oh my gosh, like, and you don't realize how frequent they are, and how sad it is, or how sad it can't be out here, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and like I said, it's real unpredictable, like, you really don't know what's gonna happen.
And I hope I gain more viewers out here as well. And I hope y'all understand that y'all can get out of it. Y'all don't need to focus on that. You don't need to grow into it. Realize that you can grow out of it. Use it as motivation to push you out of what we're dealing with here, because we're all going through it. Everybody in this world is going through it, but realize that if you see people who are doing something that you enjoy, you can do it just as much too.
And also, like we were talking about before, like one other person you interviewed also said that it's hard being poor, but it's also hard getting rich. So
choose your heart.
Yeah, basically choose which heart you choose. Like choose which heart you want.
Yeah.
And that also motivated me to, like, you know, do better than what I grew up around. Like, I love the people I grew up around. I still love my neighbors, everything like that. But
that's my people.
That's my people. But at the same time, I'm glad I had their support. You know, because I mean, there's a lot of old heads in my neighborhood that are thinking like, dang, like I'm gonna go ahead and let this kid cut my hair on his front porch. You know, he might mess it up, but having them believing me at first was really something that.
At the beginning.
Yeah, so I always take care of my people and like show love and support.
Yeah, I'll be real. I mean, I started this. I'm sure you started your journey pretty much. Maybe like you said a year ago, you were going to expos and stuff, right?
Back in 2019, I was going to expos.
Oh, okay. Yeah, like in 2020 is when I first started doing what I was doing, and not a lot of people were doing what I was doing.
Oh yeah.
And then in a time of a pandemic, everybody was so scared because stocks were going down. And I do investments with currencies, and that doesn't go down, you know?
Yeah.
So, like, everybody was just so skeptic about specific things. People were getting scammed, and I was like, this is such a hard market. And like, I realized when I moved to a city, like a large city, this is something everybody does, you know? Like, and then I'm like, why is my town not doing this, you know? And so, like, I would hope to put them on to just the things I do, because I feel like I didn't have a lot of them believe in me in that thing. And so having those people around you that believed in you is really like, that's cool that you have that. And especially if they're cutting your hair. I don't know, I don't trust nobody with my hair.
Yeah, no, it was cool. I mean, like I said, just having the support for them, maybe just practice. I really owe it all to them because even one of my good friends growing up, he's way older. He gave me my first clippers because I didn't want to cut hair. He was like, "Here you go, like get in my house at 1 in the morning."
Wow.
And I was like, "Wow."
Those things happen at the most random times, and it's like you don't realize how random they are until you tell them the story later. Like you tell me the story right now, I'm like pretty sure at that time it was just like and he came over and brought me clippers. Like,
yeah,
you know?
but it was like, because I told him, I was like, that would be
moment.
cool to cut hair, because like, I always like going to being in a barber shop and just chilling with my homies or even the barbers.
Yeah.
So I guess he had a pair of old Walmart clippers laying around. He actually just came and brought it one time, and I was like, well, I don't know what to do with these, and little did I know, like, I'm here.
Yeah, wow, that's so dope.
That's crazy.
I know, when you were sharing that story earlier too, I was still in shock. I'm still in shock by a lot of the things you shared with me, and I'm grateful you did allow me to get a little more insight on your story and where you come from. Like, if nobody's gonna say it, I'm so proud of you, dude. Like, especially going from here and like knowing the area, like everything like that. I'm like, wow, like I would have flopped. I would have flopped. I would have been calling my mama like a little. Yeah, no, I would have flopped. But
thank you, I appreciate that.
Yeah. So I do have one more question. I do want to say now, thank you so much for doing this with me. I'm excited. Like, I mean, it's just fun doing these with so many people and getting to know them and their different outlooks. You've given me a different perspective as well. But so, like, if you could change 3 things in this world, what would you change?
All right, first one is politics. I mean, I know I said I want to talk about politics, but hold on.
You can talk about mine.
It's because I feel like nowadays politicians are going against each other rather than back in the day when politicians were trying to work together and try to help the community. You know what?
Look deeper into history. Politics are fucked. But I get exactly what you're saying. No.
Politicians should really work together because they're. If you think about it, politicians are still wanting to help their own country.
Yeah.
But like, why do they have to argue about it?
Yeah, it's like it's starting to become a competition rather than something for the greater good.
Yeah, an election. Yeah.
Yeah, literally, like, yeah, we call it an election. It's supposed to be basically like a battle, but for the greater good. You know, people are forgetting the after, for the greater good. You know, it's like, here we go, we gotta vote again, election time. You know, it's like, it's becoming too much of a competition or a fiesta event or anything that everybody participates in to get into. That it's like,
and it's real crazy to see all these like riots happening and stuff like that. That's why I feel like if politicians work together, those riots and all those bad things that are coming across, like
they could come to realize like these things aren't things we're fighting about. These are things we're discussing that we need to, you know, and they need to express that intellectual conversation with everybody because I feel like a lot of people are very ignorant in certain ways and they don't understand the concepts of how much deeper specific laws and things go and also politicians need to realize and listen and hear the people out. Like really hear their people out.
Yeah, because like this last election, like I mean I'm cool with everyone, like I really don't care who you vote for or what, but people that I've seen on the news and on social media, they're acting like it was like the Super Bowl or something, you know, like going crazy at each other.
They're treating it as like an entertainment event. And yeah, I don't agree with that.
Yeah.
What else would you change?
Something I would change is the way parents kind of treat their children after high school. Because I know a lot of parents, I mean, like, I'm not talking crap about y'all's parents, but there's a lot of parents that do want their kids to do something else.
We were talking about that.
Yeah. But nowadays, I just feel like parents are trying to make their kids live their own dream instead of living it to live the parents' dream instead of living the kid's dream. And at first, when I started cutting hair, my mom wasn't so supportive. I mean, my sister's going to school to be a teacher. I'm real proud of her. But the fact that it was kind of hard, you know, my mom is supportive. She's super supportive now. Right. But back then, I guess it was kind of hard for her to comprehend that, like, I didn't want to do what she wanted to do.
Well, nobody can see your vision but you. So
yeah.
I mean, like now, I think we come to, especially you, just hearing you talk, like you've come to more of an understanding. Like, you know, she just couldn't see the vision then. You know. Yeah,
and like I don't blame her for it because I know like she's kind of like she always told me she's old school, so I get that's what her parents were, and that's all. But no, I'm glad that I was able to show her this is what I really want to do, and this is really what I feel like could take me far. Because one thing I told her was not everyone gets to use their talent to bless others, and I just feel like that's something I could do, you know?
Yeah, I would definitely like to see a lot more parents I would like to be a parent who allows my child to choose something that they enjoy doing, something that they love, without any of my influence. I wouldn't, I thought they'd like my input, but honestly, it's really going to be up to them. I would like for them to fully express themselves within it, because I don't know what's going on or what's in their brain. I can't access that. And so they're going to share with me what they want to share with me, and I want them to be able to express themselves as much as they can. So I would like to see a change in that.
Yeah, see, and that's something that I feel like basically parents should be more open-minded to what their kids want to do.
Yeah, allowing them to express themselves, understanding that kids, like, we're a little dinky, but we're not stupid, you know? Like, we're supposed to mess up, we're supposed to learn those mistakes just as much as they did. Of course with guidance, but at some point you can't fill yourself with anger when trying to make somebody what you would call a better person,
right?
When you can't make a person who they are. You can only create a body for a person. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
I get you.
Yeah, so like you can bring these people into this world, but at the end of the day, they are their own people, and it's
true to that. What I just said was also kids speaking out about what they want to do instead of just being scared to have their voice heard, or because I feel like a lot of times people, they don't want to follow their dreams because they're worried about what other people might think, and I just wish the younger generation. I'm still part of the younger generation. We're still part of the younger generation. Like the kids, we're hella mature.
Okay. No,
but
I feel you, especially because my cousins, like I would love for them to speak up and stand up for themselves, but I also know we got some smart mouths, So I would say, like, kids out there, like, your parents are doing, I'm pretty sure, everything they can for you with what the knowledge they have. So you, with better knowledge, go gain more knowledge to know how to approach your parents. I had to learn. I'm barely learning how to approach my parents in a manner to where they don't feel triggered, nor do I. And that's something that has built up over the years, especially if you're coming from a struggling family. Like, there's just things that go on that shouldn't, but considering the circumstances, everybody did the best they could. And so I believe that everybody should try to surpass that and get to know the other person, get to know your kids, get to know your parents. Like, ask them what they truly enjoy, and don't pressure it from anybody. Don't push your parents into, this is what I want. No, because that's somebody you care about. You have to do it in a respectable way, in a respectable manner, to where they'll respect you just as much as you'd expect them, or they'll respect you as much as they'd expect somebody to respect themselves.
Exactly.
I guess that,
I like that.
But yeah, that was some good insight. And if you want to give another change in the world, you said some too, but we got pretty deep in this time. You said,
I was like, wow, shit.
It's because I hate fighting with my parents. Not now.
Yeah.
But I would have a lot of arguments with my parents, and I feel like they could have gone a better way if I would have just kept my peace of mind.
Yeah.
Not let their
gotta be respectful too.
Not let their frustration get to me. Like, it was just more. Yeah, of course I was always respectful, but I'd get so angry, or I might raise my voice a little, or get anxious or whatever. And now it's just like, just trust me, Mom.
Yeah, because maybe you're trying to like force it on them. Like, no, this is late. You just gotta back down and just keep doing it.
Just as much as they can't force something on you, you can't do that to them either.
Yeah, exactly. And exactly. Yeah. And honestly, it's just those two that I would like really like to see change. Not necessarily in the world, but how people in the world act and react.
That is still a change in the world. I feel like people need a lot of maturing and a lot more insight on things before going further with themselves, with their words, with their actions. And we really need to focus on that. So you really topped it with those two. That's a big thing. How we were raised and what's going on right now needs to change. And the best way to do that is in the future. And I hope a lot of people our age take into consideration, whether you have kids or not now, or any age, just take into consideration, like, that's a partnership you have right there. And if y'all can't respect each other both ways around, throughout that entire relationship, it's going to be rocky, it's going to be bumpy, and of course you're going to bump heads. But I thank you for being here. I want to ask the viewers, let us know what you thought down below. Go check out Rey's check out Rey's Cuts. You know, go check out his platforms. He's doing it real big. He's really getting out there, and I'm so proud of him. He's really building up his brand, and Rey the Barber, you know. But stay tuned for more, and tune in for his YouTube channel. Thank you. If you have, that's it. Yeah, that's it. I mean, you're like, yeah, cut that shit.
We out.
We are behind the scenes. Rey the Barber.
Fuck, I turned it off. Now I gotta reconnect it.
I'm gonna record it one of them. Next. Those freaking two things.
I'm sorry.
I swear.
Be quiet.
I swear, Max.
Like we do with like gestures, but he doesn't know how to be quiet. Okay.
No, Max. Like, I mean, I might not have heard you because I'm into it right now. Like, this is a very flowing video, and I'm promise you, like, please stop.
So much guys.
Yeah.
This guy's game.
Okay.
Order crystals that. No.
Say that. Say that. Look like crystals. That's what I need. That's what the energy's not. No, I'm kidding.